out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out.
Welcome into The Drive with AD and Raff. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
Brought to you by Sand Hills Global on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody. It's Tuesday, and this is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket with AD and Raff. AD is out again today. He might call in. We're not 100% sure on that, but he is actually, I think, following the footsteps of Quinn Ewers.
Okay. Is he back tomorrow?
He is back tomorrow.
Gotcha.
He is back tomorrow, but today he is in Austin, Texas. If you recall, yesterday he was in Columbus, Ohio. So
that man is all over the place.
He's taking the tour. He'll probably come back and have a mullet or whatever, just like Quinn.
Honestly, can he grow hair and he just chooses to shave it off? Or
I have heard rumors that he can grow hair. However, the top part of his head might not grow as much hair as the sides.
Gotcha. So. Because like DP claims he can grow hair.
Oh,
but he just shaves it.
Huh.
And so I didn't know if AD was the same way or if AD is a true authentic bald man.
Oh, I believe there is still a little bit of hair that can grow, but he always says that the top part might be a little thin. So
gotcha. Yeah, then just good idea to keep it all shiny.
No shave,
Mr. Clean.
No shave November this month.
Maybe he should. That'd be. Do you participate in No Shave November?
I usually participate in no shave the entire year, but
okay, sounds good. See, like I tried to last year, and then by about 2 weeks into November, I need to have my beard trimmed up and clean.
Yeah.
And I hate when it's messy, and I just can't do it. So we have to say no to No Shave November. So yeah. Scott says DP can't grow his hair anymore. Scott, you better be careful with that, with talking like that. I don't know if DP's listening. DP's hanging in Charlotte, or at least he was in Charlotte last night. So I'm guessing he's still there.
Definitely living his best life there with
Gee whiz, yeah, hanging out with Bryce McGowan's out there and stuff. It looks like we got a jersey coming our way for the ticket.
Did you see his seats during the game? He was behind the bench. I told him,
awesome.
Get your dry erase board out, draw up a few isolation plays for Bryce.
Yeah, hey, whatever you got to do. But no, it's pretty sweet how Bryce is doing his thing and obviously playing for the Hornets and preseason and it seems like he made the right decision to go pro because it's all going to work out. Maybe he didn't get drafted as high as we thought he originally would, especially coming out of high school. But he still figured out a way to get to the league, and here he is producing and playing well and trying to fit into that space. So, but like I said, pretty sweet Hornets jersey we got coming towards the 93.7 The Ticket.
Going to the wall. Wall.
It is. So it's awesome. So, Raff, NFL game last night, man. I texted you a text. I sent you a text and Raff, and AD, that said something along the lines of, after tonight, there is zero doubt in my mind that the Broncos are the worst team in this division. And I stand by that. The Raiders, I don't know how you feel about going for two. The Raiders got bailed out a couple of times. The roughing the passer penalty was insane.
But I was saying in the spillover, by the letter of the rule,
it is. Yeah,
it is a penalty. He landed on top of him. It's not right. It's a terrible rule.
Yeah,
but it's almost like the tuck rule. Like by the rule, the tuck rule was the tuck rule. It's a horrible rule which they got rid of, but somehow they're going to have to let these guys play football. Like another thing I said in the spillover, you have a choice to play football. If you do not want to play, if you do not want the possibility of being injured, you do not have to play football. There's nobody's got your people's arm twisting it going, you've got to play football.
I also last night was an interesting play because Chris Jones had the football before Derek Carr was tackled to the ground. Derek Jones had the football, and you can
Chris
clearly,
Jones.
did I say that?
Derek.
Oh, my bad. Chris Jones. Chris Jones had the football, and if you would replay that, if that was a reviewable play, then you would have seen that because it was clear that he
and then Carl Sheffers,
Derek Carr did not have the any possession of the football.
Yeah, but Carl Sheffers said in his post-game press conference, or however the NFL referees, they put out a release that even though he did not have the football, the quarterbacks are still protected while in the pocket. So, but it's just they have got to find a way to let them play football. At first it was protect their knees, then it was protect the heads.
Yeah.
There's got to be a point where you've got to let it go. Like the Tom Brady penalty, there were no rules protected. That was just a horrible call. And then you saw last night, Patrick Mahomes, the same exact play almost, actually more violent because the guy released him and kind of threw him.
Yeah.
And no penalty. So
but we know that, Raff. Tom Brady kind of controls this game, and the game revolves around Tom Brady, and you have to protect the greatest player of all time because you don't want to be that referee crew that does it. Yeah.
And it's crazy now, but quarterbacks' careers, if they don't make a change, there'll be quarterbacks playing 20, 25 years. That'll be the norm for these quarterbacks, because if you let them stand back there and they have no really threat of pressure, or it makes the game so much easier. What always was I always go back to the 80s. I always kind of think that was kind of like the golden years of NFL football, just for the play. But those quarterbacks back there was always that possibility that they might be knocked out of the game. There was a lot of talk in the 80s about, let's knock the quarterback out of the game. But
I just wonder, what is Chris Jones supposed to do differently?
Yeah.
How do you tackle differently? I mean, because you're in that moment, and in that moment, you're not thinking, okay, I can't put my body weight on this guy. Because once again, in football, that's the point.
There's nothing he could have done. There's nothing. And that's what they need to find a way to change the rules, or they need to find a way. They got to give a little bit more leniency to the defense. Because you watch the play, that's an amazing play.
It's a great play. And it's nothing. I mean, there's nothing overly physical or overly aggressive about it. It's just a dude laying on another dude. Well, let's hope out of context did not get me there. Let's hope the Twitter account is not listening.
Boy.
Anyway, it's a dude tackling another guy. And so it's just like, it is what it is. But I mean, that's
and it should not be a penalty. I just feel like Chris Jones was talking after the game, like, let's take let it take it up to the booth. But then that's another thing that the replay ref has to watch. If you bring in someone separately, I mean, NFL has plenty of money, because it feels like when you watch football and you see a play that's to me, it looks wrong. Something looks like, that wasn't right. And that's what I feel when I watch these roughing the passer calls. And when they do call the penalties, I'm like, nah, that's not right. And then sometimes you'll see a play and you're like, okay, no, that's roughing the passer. You see it. But it's tough. I don't think there'll be any changes to it, unfortunately. And it's sad because it's just it hurts the game. You have a bunch of former NFL players, even some current NFL players, that are like, well, let's just make it 7-on-7 now. Well, I'll tell you what, you make it 7-on-7, you're going to see how the Pro Bowl ended. It's not a good thing for your brand at all.
Well, Micah Parsons tweeted out just this morning, or just last night, how the NFL is trash now. Like that is literally what his tweet said. And Micah Parsons is the leader for the Defensive Player of the Year this season.
Yeah.
That's not a good look for the NFL when one of your top players, not only on defense, but in the league, as a young guy as well.
Yeah.
He's been in the league. This is going to be his second year. Yeah, his second year, third year possibly. No, because he won Rookie of the Year last year. So second year in the league. It's not a good look when your defensive Rookie of the Year and your now Defensive Player of the Year so far through the first couple weeks of the season is publicly saying how bad you are as a league and how idiotic some of your rules are. It's just not a good. It's not a good look.
And so Dusty texted in, the ball is fumbled, so landing on the quarterback shouldn't apply. You would think that, but like Carl Sheffers came out after the game last night, quarterback's still protected, even though he doesn't have the ball in the pocket. So that was there. And then Newt text in, Raff, you from Cali? No, not from Cali, from Lincoln, Nebraska, but I do love me some Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, Laguna Beach out in that area. So yeah, it's just got to a point. I keep on going back. You have the choice to play football. And that's the risk everyone has took for the last 125 years or however, or 100 years of NFL football or any type of football, college football. That's the risk that you've took. And like when I played, I knew that was the risk you were risking. There was a chance you were going to be injured, and I was not getting paid millions of dollars. So
yeah. Well, so Rubber Duck from LinkedIn makes just like this, and this is just a great way to sum it up. Tell a guy whose job it is to go 100 miles an hour and destroy the offensive line to get to the quarterback to just pull up. It's so confusing.
Yep.
I mean, because there's just so many things you have to think about. Like, all right, I have to get past the offensive line quick enough to where the quarterback's not going to throw the ball away in time, and then in that 2-yard gap between the offensive line and the quarterback, I need to stop myself.
Yep.
It's
and
just,
then we got another text in from 7576. It's not the roughing the passer calls; it's the disparities in how they call it. So they protected Brady at all costs, but go back and see how they beat up Eli Manning and Cam Newton. Yeah, it's the same thing. Cam Newton was a big quarterback, probably 6'4", maybe 6'4", 250 probably. And yeah, they let a lot of stuff on him slide through. And you see Tom Brady back there, kind of skinny, kind of frail, not super big. You should have seen him when he was in college. He was even skinnier than he was now. But yeah, but the NFL's not stupid either. They know that Tom Brady has been their meal ticket for 21 years now. So they don't want to get him hurt. If they can keep him around for another 3-4 years, that's good for them. However, it's really bad for the game if you're not letting him take hits, because my thought process is like, everybody's like, oh, he's the GOAT. But I'm like, well, anyone can be the GOAT if you're not going to be getting hit. But
yeah. Well, that's the thing, is you just don't want to be that officiating crew to where Tom Brady gets hurt and has to retire, or you don't, and then sitting back and Tom Brady has to retire because of an injury, and looking back, you should have called a roughing the passer. Yeah. Like, you don't want to be that.
I was thinking about it this morning. This is complete crazy thinking, but one of the ways that you probably could convince or have the quarterbacks come out and say, hey, we'll take hits, is just be like, play 2-hand touch with the quarterbacks. Could you see how upset these quarterbacks would be?
That's the thing, is it's not the fans, it's not even the defensive players, like it's the quarterbacks also, where if you were like, all right, 2-hand touch with the quarterbacks, they'd be like, hell no.
Yeah.
We don't want this.
They would not want that.
We don't want this. So it's just, I don't know. That's what I think is really telling, is when it's the guy getting tackled and getting, benefiting, I suppose, off the bleak roughing the passer calls, that when they are saying, I mean, Derek Carr is in the same boat. He's like, dude, it was just a football play. Yeah. Like, let us play football.
And then it's funny is what the NFL has lived on for so many years. Like, for instance, we have a birthday today for Steve Young, turned 61 today. Go back and watch Steve Young's highlight packages early in his career. And you're not watching, the great touchdown passes to Jerry Rice that were at the end of his career. You're seeing all these plays where he's breaking tackles and he's running around in the pocket. He's getting hit. He's turning. And that's what what the NFL has lived on for so many years. Well, now you're basically taking that completely out of the game, because now if they even get touched, sometimes they're blowing the whistle before they let them break away. Like John Elway would have problems in today's game, because I can't even begin how many times third down plays, where he was rolling around the pocket and somebody would get a hold of his jersey and be dragged down, and then somehow he'd pop up, throw a touchdown, or an incompletion. For all you Chiefs fans out there, I know you love it when I say incomplete.
I'm curious to think, like back in 2009 when Sue was playing for Nebraska, and the hits that he gave the college quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't be allowed at the NFL.
Oh yeah, he would. That Texas game where he threw down McCoy.
No way.
The Missouri game where he threw down Gabbert.
Yeah.
They'd be penalties because they'd be like, oh, that's too violent the way, but that was just the way he played. It's so frustrating. And I keep on just going back to it. It's like they have a choice to play football. If they don't want to get hit, don't play football. There you go. Problem solved. Because there's plenty of people out there that will take that risk to play, because they love the game.
I just wonder. I now, so here's the thing. Dusty says this: Tom Brady is old news. Josh Allen and Mahomes are the two top most fun quarterbacks to watch in the league.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, will we begin to see rules shifted and penalty parameters changed to fit those two guys? Because think about it, like Josh Allen plays
He plays physical.
Physical, but he plays a very different game than Tom Brady does.
Yeah.
He runs the ball a heck of a lot more. And so I wonder, like, eventually, if he ever captures a Super Bowl, which this season looks like is going to be a great opportunity for them, are we going to see rules shifted to where he doesn't get hurt, or where he, like, because here's the thing is then we have that. I mean, that brings in a lot of more sticky situation when he's a ball carrier rather than just a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's gonna be
and then
an interesting
it's
conversation to watch.
I laugh
if
too.
The landscape changes
with the quarterback rules is like all these rules like pertain to when they're in the pocket. Like, for instance, at the end of the game on Sunday, Kenny Pickett came out and he was outside the pocket. The defender dove, kind of got him in the knees, kind of came down wrong. To me, that looked worse than the plays that were in the pocket.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's probably not right. He probably shouldn't be shooting for his knees like that. That would be, in my book, I'd be like, okay, that's probably a penalty because you're going after his knees. But it's just so, like, NFL has just got to a point now.
Now, on the flip side, like this, the officials are doing what they are supposed to do. Like last night's call by rule is a penalty. So it's like you can't fault the official.
Yeah.
Instead, it's almost like I would not want to be an official in this situation because you have to make a split-second decision.
Yeah.
You have to remember whether or not it's a penalty right at that exact moment and make the right call. Because if you don't make the right call, by rule, I'm saying, then you're done. Like you're going to be under review. Like there's like things like that to where it's the same thing as like a Major League Baseball umpire where they make a split-second decision, and once you make it, you cannot take it back.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we get mad at the officials, but unfortunately, like Raff said at the beginning of the segment, I mean, it's by rule. It is a penalty, which sucks, but it is what it is. And I guess it's not the official's fault, but man, it really stinks. Hizzlebear says Mahomes was thrown down exactly like Brady last night and no penalty.
Actually, I think it was actually a little bit worse than Brady's because he kind of released him. And
Chase B asks, but as a defender, would you want to be the one to take out Brady?
No.
I obviously no, but I don't think any defender is trying to take out the quarterback.
Yeah, it's just the heat of the game most of the time.
I think it's just the physicality, and some guys have more physicality, and some guys are also, 300, or I should say like 150 pounds heavier. So it just, like, I wonder, here's the thing. Last night, I wonder if one of L'Jarius Sneed. If L'Jarius Sneed, who's much smaller than Chris Jones, falls on Derek Carr like that, is that a penalty?
Yeah, probably not.
Exactly. So it's like it's just a penalty because the
size of the guy.
The size of the guy.
Yeah.
And so then you're talking about, I mean, come on, man. Like it's such a gray area to where you have no clue. I mean, it's like, all right, this guy is bigger. So when he falls on Derek Carr, obviously it's going to look a little more aggressive, a little harder of a hit than when L'Jarius Sneed jumps on Derek Carr and tackles him to the ground.
Yep, exactly.
So that's an interesting avenue to go down, is if, I wonder what happens there. And Joe B says the NFL needs to make the roughing the passer call reviewable. The problem with that, Raff, is if you look at something long enough, you can always find a way to make it a desired outcome.
And then you're going to have to you're going to have to decide what is considered.
It's all subjective.
Yeah,
it's all subjective. Like, think about the pass interference call. Like if you look in the NFL, if you look at a replay, and this is why they got away with they did away with it. If you look at a replay of guys in coverage downfield, 95% of the time you're going to be able to look at it and be like, all right, somewhere along the road, along the route, there was a hand check. There were hands to the face. There was holding. There was something that disrupted the route, or vice versa, something that hurt the defender from covering the wide receiver.
Yep.
So that's the only problem with review is because that when you look at something, you can always find hand checking or whatever. I mean, same thing as in college. There's always a hold. If you look at something long enough, there's always a hold. So it's just kind of it's such a gray area with the whole reviewable situation, because if you look at it long enough, you're going to be able to make yourself find the desired outcome.
And so Hizzle-Bear, sorry. Are these edge rushers going to start making less money because of this rule? Yeah, that there's a possibility there, because if you can't hit the quarterback, there's going to be more money thrown probably at your back end guys, because you're going to need corners and you're going to need safeties that are going to stick.
But you know this, Raff. I mean, there's much more to being a good pass rusher than just sacking the quarterback. And you know that. So I wonder, because you can still, as we all know, disrupt a play without sacking or even touching the quarterback. So I don't see necessarily a decline. Maybe there's going to be, now what I could see is a couple guys being paid top of the line and then having a major drop off, because the guys like Max Crosby, who was able to kind of hold off on Chuck and Mahomes, or Aaron Donald's one of those guys that, he just understands it. Those guys might be the top of the line guys getting paid, while Chris Jones or Myles Garrett, for example, isn't eventually. Now Myles Garrett's probably one of the best rushers in the league right now. But from a term of how you want to orchestrate or calculate your salaries on your defensive side of the ball, figure out a way to where I guess not pay him as much, or you find them. Like I don't know, the NFL will find a way to make.
I just
money
feel
out
like
of
the
all this.
NFL right now, if receivers, defensive backs, quarterbacks, I think that's probably the spot where you want to be at, because
defensive backs for sure.
A good defensive back now, that's where salaries I think are really going to increase over the next 3 to 5 years, is going to be the defense.
Well, we saw Derwin James get his new salary or contract without even playing a full season yet. But the quarterback market's really going to blow up.
Yep.
Once they figure out what to do with Lamar, I don't know what Lamar's going to do, if he's going to be able to settle on or figure out a deal for Baltimore, or if he's going to move on.
Now that'll be interesting. And I just don't think that Steve Bisciotti can let him move on. I think you've got to find a way to keep him, because if you lose him, what is he? 75% of their offense, if not more.
Probably. But I would ask this. In terms of postseason success, what has Baltimore done with him?
Yeah, that's another thing.
So that's where it's such a tough. Can you, throw a quarterback out there? Or would you be able to make the playoffs and then get eliminated still?
Yeah, but the thing is NFL owners, playoffs are great. Now, they want to make the playoffs and they want to make the Super Bowls, but at the end of the day, it's that almighty dollar. And Lamar Jackson sells a lot of jerseys, and he puts a lot of people in the stands.
That will be a weird look if Lamar is not in Baltimore.
Yeah, and then you start thinking, where would be a spot for it? Who would go after him? Like, that's because it seems like right now, more than ever, I feel like the NFL, the quarterbacks that not taking hits, seems like there's an abundance of starters out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, like Cam Newton, for instance, he's, trying to get back into the league, but I don't know if anywhere where he can go. Baker Mayfield, you got to think that he's on his last, and it's crazy because he's only year 5, year 5.
He needs to be benched bad.
Well, he's out the next 2 weeks with a foot injury, but then you think next year, because he only signed a 1-year contract with Carolina, it's like, where would he go next year? Maybe a backup somewhere. And this was a guy that 3 years ago, people were talking about, oh, he's going to lead, Cleveland back to the greatness of, the 50s when Otto Graham was throwing bombs.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm still thinking about teams that like Lamar Jackson could go, because you have to figure out, I mean, obviously a fit, organization wise, but then also a place that he would want to go.
Yeah.
Like Seattle.
That came to mind too. Seattle, maybe. But then you think like the Raiders, they're hooked in with Derek Carr for.
And I think rightfully so. I think Derek Carr's a good quarterback.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I think Derek Carr's a very good quarterback.
Yep.
Like in that 8 to 12 top, quarterback range.
Yeah.
Right now.
But it's tough. You start thinking
Minnesota.
Yeah.
But like their offense, is it really a Lamar Jackson friendly offense? I mean,
that would be fun, actually. You have Delvin Cook, and then you got Jefferson, Thielen, KJ Osborne.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to figure out what happened. I mean, Minnesota's sitting 4-1 right now. So
yeah. Well, Kirk Cousins shows up in midday games. So
yeah,
he started 13 of 13 on Sunday through the air, which was pretty impressive. So, okay. So, Lamar Jackson, let us know. 402-464-5685. Where would you want to see Lamar Jackson be?
Denver Broncos. Nope.
Let's hope no. Well, the way
we got no money.
The way this thing is going,
no money.
They might have to look for a new quarterback.
There's no money in Denver, and they got $72 million on IR right now for this year. So Broncos probably won't be it. All right, we will send it to break. This is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Lose fat, build muscle, gain endurance. Whatever your goal, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help you achieve it. Farrell's offers group fitness for all levels in a fun, welcoming environment. Their proven method combines kickboxing, cardio, and strength training to get you in the best shape of your life. You've heard all about their 10-week challenges, but you can join as a member anytime. Head to fxbeatlincoln.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or just south of 78th and Pioneers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Warm, windy conditions expected here for our Tuesday. We'll top out at 87. Southwest winds could gust over 25 to 30. Tonight we'll have a chance of thunderstorms rolling through late with a low down to 50. And behind our cold front, northwest winds tomorrow could gust over 35 with a high of 73. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nebraska fans, it's almost time for college football season. Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln is a proud donor of Nebraska Athletics. Brokers Insurance Agency is located at 33rd and A Streets in the heart of Lincoln. At Brokers, they can help you with all your insurance needs. Let them worry about your insurance so you have more time to enjoy the college football season. Call one of their licensed agents today at 402-420-5353 or visit their website at brokersinsurancene.com. Go Big Red.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with AD and Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello. Good morning. Let's go. Let's go. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
All right, we're back again. It's Tuesday. This is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, AD and Raff. So, yeah, last night we were talking about the game. After the game, something caught my eye. I don't know if you saw it or not, but
okay.
Devontae Adams was leaving the field, and I believe it was a sound guy, went in front of him, and he kind of took him and pushed him.
Yeah.
Pushed him down. I think you've got to suspend him for at least a game for that.
Really?
Yeah, I think you got to.
Man, I think track record has a lot to do in this. And maybe track record matters when you talk about how long you're suspending him, whether or not necessarily whether or not you suspend him. I think track record plays a little bit in this. I think Devontae Adams immediately making an apology plays a little bit part in this. I don't think you suspend him, honestly. I think it's a heat of the moment thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Devontae Adams, here's the deal. You have to remember this. Devontae Adams is from a place in Green Bay where he had a top 5 quarterback throwing him the football.
Yeah.
He was the guy on the team, right? And if you think back, like he was always the guy that got the football. And when you're I almost said Oakland, when you're in Vegas now, Derek Carr spreads it around, whether it's Adams, whether it's Renfro, whether it's Mac Hollins, whoever it may be, you spread the football around. And I mean, Josh Jacobs had quite a few receiving yards last night, and Darren Waller wasn't even healthy, or Darren Waller wasn't even playing last night. So he's gone from a situation to where he was the guy and only guy to where now he is the best guy on the field, but he's not treated like the best guy. And then just moments before this, you ran into your own guy.
Yeah.
And that's how the game
And
ended.
I see all that, but this is kind of why I think that he probably needs to be suspended for a game.
I see that. I wouldn't be surprised. But I just think track record.
I think he should.
He's a good dude.
Like he is, and I don't. But the reason why when it all went down, like his apology on Twitter, was like, I hope this dude sees it. No,
make something happen.
I hope we find this dude before I leave the stadium tonight.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Make it right with him. That's what kind of was lost on me. I was like, the guy walked out in front of you. You basically grabbed him by the shoulders and pushed him down.
Yeah,
or by the arms and pushed him down. I'm thinking to myself, what, like, if, like for instance, at my job, for instance, I'm having a bad day and somebody walks out in front of me and I grab them and push them down. You got a little bit more than a game suspension. You know, that's where my mind is seeing. And then
that's a good point.
And then you look back at the Chiefs fans last night at halftime. It was the heat of the moment, but there were a lot of people throwing water bottles. Well, today, there's going to be some Chiefs fans that are going to be getting letters in the mail, or not letters, probably phone calls and letters in the mail saying, you're now banned from Kansas City Chiefs for the rest for life.
Yeah.
Because the camera, the angle of the camera, that's gonna bad too. You could see the water bottles coming out and who was throwing them, and then they were kind of reversing it and seeing where the water bottle coming from the person releasing the. So yeah, so those it was the heat of the moment. It was a bad call, but they're going to have to, you know, receive some sort of punishment. So that's why.
Wild.
So I was just thinking back on all that last night.
Now, Qdoba guy says this. He picked the money over stats. I don't feel bad for him. You have to remember everything that was going on with Aaron Rodgers during the offseason. And what if Devontae Adams just got I don't know. You're absolutely right, Qdoba guy. He did choose the money. But like there was a lot of crap going on with Aaron Rodgers, and it was super annoying, whether it was and it has been for the last like year and a half, whether it was all the vaccine stuff, whether it's him now, I mean, getting a new relationship with Blue of Earth or whatever her name is called. And it's just like Aaron Rodgers is hard to cheer for right now. It's a really weird situation in NFL football right now where Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, these two guys that we're used to being on top, are not right now. And now Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a receiver to throw to. I mean, Christian Watson is all right. Ronnie Dobbs is fine. Alan Lazard is iffy. Randall Cobb, who's old, is his most reliable target right now. So it's just like, it's really weird. Like Aaron Jones, here's another thing. Here's an interesting stat, Packers fans.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Jones is averaging over 6 yards per carry, I believe.
6.39, I believe.
But he has the 18th most carries per game.
Yep.
I don't remember the carry.
Or no, he's 61st, I believe.
Yeah. He's 61st in carries per game.
Yep.
It's just wild. Qdoba guy says they've never been easy to cheer for unless you're a fan of their team. They're just not a lot easier to root against now. I suppose so.
Yeah.
I suppose. Like I always enjoyed watching Tom Brady, like orchestrating the game-winning drives. Same with Aaron Rodgers. The connection from Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams was fun to watch because you knew every time they got within the 20-yard line, they were throwing the goal line fade to Devontae Adams, and somehow, some way, he was going to come down with it.
Yeah.
But they're not doing that in Vegas right now.
No. And Jason goes, who ran the wrong route? I don't think it was a wrong route ran. I think the timing got thrown off the line of scrimmage because it was supposed to be some sort of rub route. And they rubbed all right. They I won't say it. I almost said it.
You got it.
You
almost did it. Yeah.
I almost said it.
I hope Sports Out of Context is listening.
I almost said it, but I did not say it. So saved myself there.
Yeah,
but
exactly. All right, let's go ahead and get to break.
All right, we'll throw it to break. This is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a ready next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Nebraska fans, it's almost time for college football season. Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln is a proud donor of Nebraska Athletics. Brokers Insurance Agency is located at 33rd and A Streets in the heart of Lincoln. At Brokers, they can help you with all your insurance needs. Let them worry about your insurance so you have more time to enjoy the college football season. Call one of their licensed agents today at 402-420-5353 or visit their website at brokersinsurancene.com. Go Big Red.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
We have to learn from what's happening right now. Frost waded into this with a formula system that didn't work. Now, there were coaches that were telling me that, but how do you know? How do you know? There was one coach in particular who said, Sipple, I don't know if you know this, but they just hired 2 coaches whose systems will not work in the Big Ten. And I said, oh, give me a break. You don't know what you're talking about. Right, so far.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang.
They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Chris Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody. It's The Drive on 93.7. The Ticket, proudly sponsored by Sandhills Global. Sandhills Global is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Career and internship opportunities are available at the global headquarters in Lincoln. So apply today at sandhills.jobs. Boom. Did it again. A fine job it was. Self-glossing. All right. Well, we are back again. Before we get to talking a little bit about the Nebraska football Huskers, I was thinking about it. Well, always thinking that maybe we go through like each NFL team at this. I think we're about a quarter way through the season, and we just talk a little bit about each one and say if this is where we think this is where they were going to be at.
Okay.
If they're a disappointment or if they're ahead of schedule of where we thought. So we will begin first. Let's do the NFC East.
All right.
So we'll just go right down in the rankings. So we got the Philadelphia Football Eagles.
Way above expectations.
Way above expectations.
I did not. So here's the thing is I was not buying Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Before the season. And I hadn't been buying Jalen Hurts until I watched him on the Monday Night Football game, I think against the Vikings. And then I realized that, all right, Jalen Hurts is legit. Like he's found a way. And here's the deal. I think A.J. Brown plays a big part in it. We talked about how big of a loss A.J. Brown was to the Titans, and we're kind of seeing that play out in the AFC South. So I think just, vice versa on the other side of the coin, it's a big addition for Philly.
Yep.
And Darius Slay is a lockdown corner. Like there was that, once again, I go back to that Minnesota game. He shut down Justin Jefferson that night. Darius Slay, I can't remember the stats exactly, but go back, Justin Jefferson had a quiet night.
Yep.
Had a very quiet night. Then you watch what Justin Jefferson is able to do against Chicago this last Sunday, and you really kind of tip your hat off or, tip your cap to Darius Slay for that performance.
And if you guys out there, you can always text in on the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685 if you've got opinions about that certain team, or if you're an Eagles fan, if you think they're going to go to the Super and win it, you can feel free to text in. Yeah, I think they should be pretty powerful throughout the year. And then eventually Tyree Jackson's friend of mine, we'll get him on the show. He's on their pup list right now, but once he comes off, we will get him on the show and we'll interview him, and that'll be awesome. And Dallas Cowboys.
Where are you at for Eagles?
Eagles, better than what I thought, but
but
not surprised because I knew they were loaded.
Okay.
And that's just talking to Tyree's parents and knowing, they had some pretty high expectations coming into the season. So
do we know what the deal with Jason Kelce is yet?
It sounds like is he retiring at the end of the year, or is he injured?
I think he's retiring at the end of the year, but he got injured on Sunday, and Cam Jurgens had to come in for him. And so I was curious to see if Jason Kelce. All right, let's see this here. All right, Jason Kelce, lower ankle sprain.
Yeah.
It says he'll have a MRI on Monday to determine the severity of the injury. All right, so I think Jason Kelce is fine. All right, so we're
Yeah.
good.
But what's crazy is you look back at that at the beginning of the year. Jason Kelsey could have, been upset when they drafted Cam Jurgens.
Nah, he gets it.
Well, he get it totally, and they took him under his wing. So you got to think when he was injured and Cam Jurgens came in, he was probably far ahead of most centers just for the fact that.
Well, and shout out, I mean, think about the luxury that Cam Jurgens now gets. I mean, to learn from Travis, Jason Kelsey, to learn from that guy. Come on, no way. I mean, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's
great.
That is super. So yeah, they're right. Maybe a little bit ahead, but
Okay.
they're pretty much.
All right, so Cowboys.
What are they going to do? Are they going to bench their quarterback?
Cooper Rush is 4-0, but not even a 4-0 start or stretch will keep Dak Prescott in that giant contract off the field.
All right. See, I don't know. Jerry
You
Jones.
think differently?
Jerry Jones is weird. He is
That's
weird.
right. I just think
I mean, he was the one at the beginning when he first got injured. He goes, "I want Cooper Rush to play so well that we have a quarterback controversy when he returns." So when you say something like that, what are you saying? Like, all right, well, we signed Dak to a huge contract, but we want a quarterback controversy, and now he's ran off 4 consecutive wins
against decent teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rams are no joke. The Rams got to figure it out, but they're just.
So
Man,
I don't know.
That's tough to put like where they're at expectation wise.
We'll be in like week 10 and Dak will be like, "No, I'm fine. I can grip the ball." And Jaden, "No, I don't think so. Not quite enough
Cooper
pressure
Rush
there."
9-0 after.
Yeah, so do you keep on riding with the guy that's been winning, or do you put in your franchise?
Well, so here's the thing. I was shocked when, first of all, the Cowboys let go of Amari Cooper. They let him walk, and that was a big mistake in my opinion. But here's another thing they need to change. Tony Pollard needs to be the featured running back, and Ezekiel Elliott needs to get out of town. He's not going to. They're going to resign them,
and it's crazy
the 2-back system. But
and it's weird, how they are so like Jerry Jones. To me, it just seems like if Cooper Rush plays well, keeps on playing well, he'll stay in the game. But Ezekiel, the last couple of years, his yards per carry went down.
Fumbles have gone up.
Fumbles have gone up. Tony Pollard is, he's been pretty strong the last 2 years, but they're very locked into like, nope, Ezekiel's still our back, because I think he had 22 carries for 78 yards or something like that on Sunday. And then Pollard, I was like 9 for 90, or I could be wrong on that, just pulling from the top of my head, but he had a great game, had a long run. So yeah,
Tony Pollard's just I think a better running back. Like he's a better catcher, he's a better pass catcher, and he's just he's had better statistically better years than Zeke. And Zeke just fumbles. Like there were the last 2 seasons have been big. I mean, there's been big fumble problems for Ezekiel Elliott.
And it's funny is the Cowboys have started out, they 4-1 right now, doing great, but part of me is always like, well, the Cowboys are eventually going to cowboy, so they'll do something, or Jerry Jones will do something that'll wreck the chemistry, and they'll be in the same spot as they always are.
Tyler makes a great point. Cowboys fan here, they can ditch Zeke and find a much cheaper back to do what he does. Been saying that for a couple of years. Nolan, here we go. Nolan says this on the text line in all caps. Cooper Rush had 106 yards passing against the Rams. Dak Prescott led the #1 offense last year. And then in lowercase, I cannot fathom how this is a conversation right now. They're winning games because of the defense. It has nothing to do with the quarterback. Quarterback gets all the praise.
But it's about the chemistry. You don't upset that chemistry.
Maybe. I mean, that defense is good.
Then what happens if
I said it on draft night. Micah Parsons was the biggest steal of that draft.
Oh yeah.
He is electric.
So if you put Dak back in and they lose like 2 consecutive games.
Yeah, what do you do, Nolan? Nolan, help us out. If Dak goes back, which I think Dak's the better quarterback.
Oh yeah, like, I do too.
I've always been a fan of Dak.
I need some fantasy football points, Dak. So
although he is injured and he wasn't playing well this season, here's the deal. I think that they needed to pay him, and I'm glad that they did pay him because I think he's a very good. I think he's a good quarterback. I do. I just think losing to Amari Cooper and having, I don't know, like CeeDee Lamb fits like the number 2 option for me. Like I think CeeDee Lamb is better at the number 2 option rather than the guy. And Michael Gallup's back now, healthy. And he got a couple catches last week, so I suppose there you go. But I mean, I just still think Dak is the Amari Cooper is crazy. Tyler says also how BA would it have been if Micah Parsons came to Nebraska. Dude, that was when I was. That's what.
No,
I went through a stretch in my life.
I say that, but I think the same thing. But for a while there, Nebraska was where star players went to not
die,
to not improve.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think a player like that, he is going to be. I mean, here's a perfect example. Kayvon Thibodeau is one. Kayvon was the #1 overall recruit. Went to Oregon. Never really improved necessarily, but he fit the body type perfectly, and he knew. And in the off season, rather, he got way better. It wasn't necessarily in season, but he went to Oregon. So like Micah Parsons is one of those guys, I think, Raff, to where if he would have come to Nebraska and played anywhere, he was going to either dominate just on sheer size and athleticism for his size. And you could argue he didn't need to improve in the college game. Yeah. Obviously, he had to take steps up to be where he's at in the NFL. But at Penn State, you saw that guy just run the show from day one.
Yeah, but
he was special. And that was, you're probably right. His career, who knows if he's a first round, pick.
Yeah.
But
because I know there's been players like Joe Burrow, for instance.
Good point.
I've always said I'm glad he did not come to Nebraska because he probably would be selling insurance right now in Lincoln because.
Well, geez, I think about how different life would be for all of us.
It'd be crazy.
Think about that. Joe Burrow's not in the league. Joe Burrow's the Bengals don't make the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's just crazy. But you got to think if he would have transferred to Nebraska, he would have been behind Adrian because
that and you even if he gets in, you don't have Jamar Chase, you don't have Terrace Marshall, you don't have Justin Jefferson, you don't have Thaddeus Moss.
So
you don't have Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
So I always tell people, I'm like, he chose wisely. He chose wisely.
Well, we didn't give him much of a choice.
Yep.
Per se.
And I'm sure I know he's always has, maybe a grudge against the Nebraska people that not give him a chance. But part of him has got to just be smiling, going, thank goodness they never did give me a chance because it worked out great for him.
Yeah.
And then you got the New York Giants. The New York Giants.
How about them? 4-1. Brian Daboll.
Daboll. Yep.
Brian Daboll. I almost said Dabble. Brian Daboll. Figuring out a way to get it done. I exceed expectations. And this is here's the thing. The craziest part about this is without Kenny Golladay and Wan'Dale Robinson and
the one receiver, Tony. Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius.
Yeah.
So that's where it's kind of crazy is when you look at this. I've always been a little higher on Danny Dimes. I'm not sure if that's a hill I want to die on, but he's doing his job. And now we're seeing how impressive and crucial it is to have a healthy Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
I mean, because now they have a healthy Saquon Barkley that they can just continue to give him the rock and incorporate him in a variety of ways. And he just gets it done.
Yep.
Like Saquon is still that dude.
Oh yeah. He's
elusive,
I would say fast, strong.
I would say exceeding expectations for the Giants.
Definitely. And then you've got the Commanders, the Washington Football Commanders. Holy cow.
What that is 1-4?
1-4 and an absolute train wreck. Because did you hear the press conference yesterday with Ron Rivera?
It's our quarterback.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's bad. First of all, Carson Wentz should have never went back to that division. He should have stayed in Indianapolis, in my opinion. But I would say right where we thought they were going to be.
I think they're worse than what I thought they were going to be. Yeah.
They didn't have Chase Young. They haven't had Chase Young. So
how long do you think before they go to Heineke because I believe they got
that's an interesting discussion.
I think it is that Carson Wentz has got a contract thing. If he plays 75% of the plays, they would get a number 2 draft pick. So you've got to think the Redskins have got to be keeping an eye on that before they're like, all right, this has been fun, but we need to flip it over to Heineke, at least, just to get our second round draft pick back.
Ron Rivera said, I think we have some pretty good pieces in place. I don't regret at all trading for Carson Wentz. So no regrets.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, he threw a pick at the goal line. It is what it is. Yeah. Okay. So you're right where you're worse. I'm right where I thought.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. We're moving on. NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings.
4-1.
4-1.
exceeding expectations. Or I suppose actually, here's the deal. It could be right where they are at, right where I thought they'd be, as long as Dalvin Cook stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Because Dalvin hasn't been healthy the last couple of years. Now he switches numbers. He wears number 4 again, like he did at Florida State.
Yep.
And a healthy Dalvin Cook allows a lot more to happen for Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins gets a lot of flack, but the deal is he started 13 of 13, and he's got 2 great wide receivers in Jefferson and Thielen, and you have KJ Osborne, who they move around quite a bit as well. And then when you have Madison,
the running back,
the backup running back that they like, he's more of the receiving back for him. They figure out a way to get it done.
See, I think they're ahead of where I thought they might be, but also you look at it too, they've had some great swings of luck the last couple of weeks. They probably could just as easily be 2-3 as they are 4-1, because the Saints game, they had the double doink where it hit off the crossbar or the side and then the crossbar. So then they end up winning the game on that. Then last week, it looked like Chicago had the game. They were driving in for a chance to possibly win the game. And then Dantzler just basically stripped the ball out of the guy's hands. I was like, holy cow. But that's kind of like the Bears being the Bears, actually. So I guess I was surprised, but not surprised. All right. Then you got the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers showing maybe a little bit of frustration sitting there at 3-2.
Right where I thought they would be.
Right where you thought they'd be.
Right where I thought they'd be. Rashawn Gary's having a great year. The guy out of Michigan having a great year. Aaron Jones, they got the great running back duo in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, which is interesting because AJ Dillon, if you watch the Packers games, AJ Dillon is kind of their closer. Towards the late stages of the game when they just need a bruising running back, it's AJ Dillon. Correct. So I find that interesting where they go to Aaron Jones a lot in the beginning, but then they kind of start weaning off of him and going more to a heavy dose of AJ Dillon. I think right where I thought they'd be, because without Devontae Adams, your receiving core drops significantly.
Yeah.
And Randall Cobb is not on the same playing field as Devontae Adams.
And no matter how
great,
great
a rookie from North Dakota State is not on the same playing field.
And no matter how great Aaron Rodgers is, eventually you just cannot roll out, receivers that they really don't have a one receiver. I think Allen Lazard is considered their number one receiver, and Allen Lazard probably in most offenses is maybe a 2-3 probably. So so that's where the Packers are sitting. Then we got the Chicago Bears, which we just talked about, the Bears and the Vikings game. Bears, what are they? They're 2-3. I think that's probably right where I'd expect them to be, 2-3.
Man, I want Justin Fields to work out so bad.
Yeah.
He just can't develop with Darnell Mooney as his number one.
Yep, that's it.
That's the thing. That's the brutal reality of it. Gosh, I don't know what to think about David Montgomery. He has good runs every now and then, but once again,
flashes.
It's just like you're in Chicago.
Yep.
Because I think like when Chicago gives Justin Fields time in the pocket, he's able to deliver. He's able to make throws.
Yep.
And make good decisions. It's that they just aren't able to give him enough time in the pocket.
I agree.
So I think right where they're at is probably the same choice there.
Totally. And then you got the Detroit Football Lions. You've got the team of teams. Nick, your squad 1-4.
Hey, listen, the offense is doing just fine, although they got shut out this last weekend. They scored 45 points. Here's the thing, Raff. They're before this, going into this last Sunday.
I know
they were the number one scoring offense in the league.
Juggernaut.
But they were also the worst defense in points allowed in the league.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. So they need to boost their defense a little bit. Jeff Okuda's garbage. You got Aiden Hutchinson, which is fine. But then, man, so I guess
right where you thought they'd be.
Right where I thought they'd be in terms of skill. I would have thought that maybe they'd be able to squeak out another win and be 2-3.
That's what I thought too.
But in terms of how they're playing actually on the field, I would think they're right where I'm thinking.
Yep.
So
all right. What we'll do now is we will throw it to break right now. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket. When we come back, we'll talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oktoberfest presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clark's, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. There is no better place to watch any Nebraska game other than the 50-yard line at Memorial Stadium. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking here in Louisville. We are really hitting on all cylinders right now, and deals are off the charts. We've got a lot more new 2022 and 2023 Chevrolet and GMC inventory than we've had in a long time. So make sure you check us out online, or do even better, stop on in the store and let us show you one in person. Our pre-owned lot is plumb full, so take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
that's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with AD and Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello. Good Good morning. Let's go. Let's go. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Know you've been waiting.
All righty, we are back. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket with AD and Raff. We're just going through the NFL right now, just talking about where our teams are setting up so far this year. Are they ahead of schedule? Are they behind schedule? Or are they right where they should be at? And now we will move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by the ageless quarterback, Mr. Tom Brady.
I'm going to say, are they 3-2?
3-2. 3-2.
Right where I thought they'd be. The Godwin injury hurt them early on in the year.
Yep.
Individually, I did not think Brady would be this bad right now, or would be playing this poorly. I like Leonard Fournette a lot. I think right where they're at is right where I expected.
Yep.
I didn't think I don't think they're going to make a Super Bowl.
I think it'll be a normal Tom Brady at 3-2. He'll probably get them to 12-5, 11-6, probably get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's Tom Brady. He'll find a way to, will they get to the Super Bowl? Probably not. But their defense, when they're clicking, that defense plays pretty good. So they'll be around somewhere.
Who is your NFC Super Bowl?
NFC Super Bowl would be the Eagles?
Is it Eagles?
Eagles? See,
It
there you
feels
go.
weird. It feels weird
There you
saying
go.
it, but I think it's so. Here's the thing. I'm still high on the Rams. I don't know why.
I don't know. I do not know. They got some work to do.
They got some work to do, but I'm still high on the Rams.
All right.
Rams or Eagles. I think it's one of those two.
Man, see, and that's where Tampa Bay, they're scrappy. They get in the playoffs.
They are.
And you start playing, and you got that Tom Brady magic or whatever you call it.
So
they'll be around. And then you got the New Orleans Saints. They're at 2-3.
Right where you expect.
I think right where I expect them.
Yeah.
Man, they're really leaning on Taysom Hill though. Holy cow.
No, that's awesome. Fantasy tip for all the folks out there: if ESPN hasn't changed it, if you use ESPN labels Taysom Hill as a tight end, and you are able to plug in Taysom Hill as a tight end in your fantasy league. So if you are looking, so if you want to a way to kind of finesse the system
to get more than 5 points other than Travis Kelce,
to get more than 5 points out of your tight end, go pick up Taysom Hill on the waiver wire.
Hill.
Go pick up Taysom Hill on the waiver wire right now.
But he'll probably go up in price a little bit, I'm guessing.
Okay, so that's fine.
And draft
but
and
here's the
FanDuel.
deal: is that's a way you can get 2 quarterbacks in your league.
Yep, 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah. So and Taysom Hill as a part-time quarterback will get more points than a tight end most weeks, especially if he scores 2 touchdowns and throws for 1, just like he did this last weekend. So,
and then we got the Atlanta Falcons at 2-3.
Oh, Atlanta Falcons. Rico, you want to join in for this one?
The Atlanta Football Falcons. Steve Bartkowski, number 10.
I'm going to say
Billy White Shoes Johnson. Falcons from the 80s. William Andrews.
Do you think Falcons are below expectations, right where you thought they'd be, or exceeding expectations?
They are currently 2-3. They are pretty much exactly where everyone thought they would be.
But don't you think they should be better than that? Like,
with the way that they're using who's the tight end from
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, the fact that they're not throwing him the ball and they're using as an inline blocker.
Yeah.
This is exactly where I thought they would be.
should
If
be.
you're using him as a pass catcher, as
Then-
you should be,
then
I would expect you to be better.
That's where I see it too. I see exactly.
Yeah,
that
it's
way.
what kind of season is Drake London having?
He didn't start off too hot. He's getting better as it
Gotcha.
goes, as you would expect for a rookie.
I would say he's got that big frame that they liked out of USC. So I didn't know what kind of season Drake London was having. Trail from Hellamass. I'm holding on to DJ Moore in fantasy with an expected roster blow up in Carolina. The top 5 rumor destinations are Ravens, Chiefs, Rams, Giants, and Packers. Where do you guys think the best fit would be? Do I say
for DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
What were the places he said?
Ravens, Chiefs, Rams, Giants, and Packers. I think Rams. Why? Because they could approach the same thing way as they did with the OBJ last year, and that got him to a Super Bowl.
I think Packers or Chiefs. Packers, because he would unequivocally be the number one receiver if he went to the Packers. If he went to the Chiefs, honestly, he might be the number one receiver there as well, and that would be he would be not quite as fast, but he would be the new Tyreek Hill form where he would target him more.
Number one receiver would still be Travis Kelce. Wide receiver, tight end.
Well, we're talking receivers, not tight ends. He's number one tight end. He's the number one target.
Yeah, number one target.
But number one receiver would be DJ Moore because right now their number one receiver is what? Juju Smith-Schuster, who barely gets any catches. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who barely gets any targets.
I would say when
Mecole Hardman barely gets any targets. Like, he doesn't target any of them.
I would say Mecole Hardman is the number one.
He barely targets any of them. It's mostly Travis Kelce. Like, none of them really have that many receptions.
Hardman's been dealing with the heel injury, so he's kind of been iffy on that. But when healthy, Mecole has been the guy.
Who
has been the target.
Who is the number one receiver for the Ravens? Is it Duvernay or
it's Rashad Bateman when he's healthy?
When he's healthy. Okay. So
probably Duvernay.
I would think maybe the Ravens.
Well, if you're talking Mark Andrews, if you want to throw tight ends back into that.
So I'd say Ravens or Chiefs for him.
See, here's the thing. Like, I'm not putting Travis Kelce on the same playing field as any other tight end in the league.
Like, he's not. He's the best tight end in the league.
Like, I am not putting like Mark Andrews.
But if you're looking at the other good receiving tight ends, Mark Andrews is probably the second best receiving tight end behind Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I'd do that. So,
or at least he gets targeted a lot. Really, the Ravens' offense is when they get into a bind. The Ravens' offense is Lamar Jackson run or look for Mark Andrews.
Yeah, it's a Mark Andrews curl route.
Yeah, it's Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson when they get in a bind.
Gosh dang. Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know. I'm just not big on Mark Andrews. I don't know.
You don't have to be. He's good. You don't have to be big on him. If you're not, I will be.
I'm not saying he's like bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but I don't put him near the same conversation.
Mark Andrews is the number one tight end anywhere except for the Chiefs.
The way that Travis Kelce, I know, but I'm talking the landscape in the entire picture, in the big picture. Like, I look at the way that Travis Kelce is able to get open so effortlessly. And when guys will double Travis Kelce, he's still either able to get open or he still is able. And part of it's your quarterback.
He's just a freak.
Yeah,
but you're able to.
But even like
figure out a way.
Even like last night, it wasn't like he was running around open. He worked hard. I mean, just 7 catches, 25 yards, 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
He slowly his first 3 touchdowns. He was working his way out. It was 1, 4, 8 yards, and then the other one was closer into it. So.
I don't know. Maybe I'm way off on that. I would put
Travis Kelce is far and away the best tight end in football right now.
Definitely.
It's not even close. Number 2 isn't close. George Kittle, it was him and George Kittle for a time, and then George got hurt and he hasn't come back.
Like, I'm putting George Kittle and Mark Andrews on.
Well, you got to think if
George Kittle is the best blocking tight end.
If the Falcons would use Kyle Pitts right, he would probably be your number 2.
So I know that this might be met with some angst or whatever. But the way that the Patriots used Aaron Hernandez is the way that I see the Falcons using Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Where they split Aaron Hernandez out wide as a wide receiver multiple times because they had Gronk as well.
That works.
And that was the conversation coming out of college with Kyle Pitts, was that he's a little bit of a smaller body, but he's quicker, which obviously means he's a little quicker, has a little bit better of athleticism. And that was their opportunity.
But he's still bigger.
But he's still big enough to be a tight end, and now they just don't throw him the ball.
It's weird. It's very weird. Because you would think having Drake London and Kyle Pitts would be something that you could take advantage of.
Totally.
I mean, okay, so here's a question. Atlanta's running back, is it still
Cordero Patterson? Yes, the former wide receiver.
But he was injured last week, I believe.
Probably.
Gotcha.
He gets injured a lot.
But man, I'll tell you what, he's made a great transition. Like, he'd always kind of been like
one of those guys that they can move in the backfield.
Like he'd always been all over the place, but like last year they kind of set on, okay, now you're going to be a running back, and he's played great. So Cordero Patterson, and he's not afraid to go on Twitter and say stuff.
Exactly. Neither is Antonio Brown.
Oh boy. All right, we're going to throw it to break. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning in to Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking here in Louisville. We are really hitting on all cylinders right now, and deals are off the charts. We've got a lot more new 2022 and 2023 Chevrolet and GMC inventory than we've had in a long time. So make sure you check us out online, or do even better, stop on in the store and let us show you one in person. Our pre-owned lot is plumb full, so take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're
definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Registration is now open for winter sports leagues for adult basketball and youth basketball through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult kickball and volleyball registration are also open. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more, or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before October 16th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Chris Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back again. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket. It's Tuesday. We're talking some NFL. Just something changed up a little bit. We got the Huskers, all week long. We'll get on to Purdue, the Boilermakers. We'll talk about them a ton, and we got AD coming back in tomorrow, so I'm sure he'll still want to talk about probably Friday night. Well, no, I probably don't want to talk about the Steelers. He's finished with that for, I think,
Did they put up a touchdown against Buffalo, or do they stay at 3?
They stayed at 3.
Yeah.
They stayed at 3. But I think they found a quarterback, so he was happy about that. Not the rest of the Steeler fans I've talked to, so they'll be all right. They got a good coach. They'll find a way. So,
all right, let's move on.
Oh, Carolina Panthers. Hello. Yeah, they're
right where I thought.
They're bad.
Yeah, right where I thought. I thought Baker Mayfield's a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't know, man.
They got a new starter this week.
Get a new starter, Sam Darnold, right?
Yep.
Still in Carolina. So
Samby.
I guess I right where I thought they'd be. Yeah, DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson.
Yep.
They should figure it
and
out.
then you got to wonder what the sweepstakes is going to look like for Christian McCaffrey. I have a feeling that he might be moving.
Yikes.
I think he might be moving because I know DJ Moore Christian McCaffrey, and then the other 2 or 3. So they'll be on their way out. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers. First off, I can say about San Francisco 49ers is they're a pretty darn good football team, but
I would say above expectations.
But the Denver Broncos beat them.
That was their
What's
lone
going
win.
on here?
That was their lone win. I would say that the 49ers are a good football team right
They're 3-2.
I like Jimmy Garoppolo.
They are a good defense.
Rico knows I like Jimmy Garoppolo.
A big Jimmy G guy.
I love Jimmy.
They're a solid defense and a weird offense.
A good enough offense.
I don't know if they're good or not on offense.
they have their moments.
Yeah.
Debo and Jimmy are good together.
They are.
Trey and Debo didn't really work out right now.
No. We'll see what happens.
And then Jeff Wilson Jr., I believe, the running back.
That is going to be, and Elijah Mitchell. That is going to be one of the more interesting conversations in the offseason is what does San Fran do with
If
Trey
I say
Lance?
I feel bad for Trey Lance, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah,
or do you want me to
think
explain?
So. I think so.
I think I understand why you feel bad for him.
He's a guy that waited a while. They slowly brought him into the fold in terms of having a couple plays and kind of drawing up a couple things for him last season. He gets the entire job, the full job this year, and then he gets hurt and for a year. And Jimmy G's a better backup than most.
That's actually not why I feel bad for him.
Oh, that's
I
awkward.
feel bad for him. I mean, mostly because of the injury, but because I feel as if not that he was overhyped, but that when he was taken, he was drafted into a bad situation with a quarterback that you don't know if he's good or not. With Jimmy G, you're not sure if he can take you to this. He took him to the Super Bowl once, but you're not sure now if he can take you to the Super Bowl or if you need to replace him. He's one of those quarterbacks where Trey Lance was definitely a project, and he should have been taken by somebody later on in the draft. I don't think that he was necessarily a top 5 pick. He's a top 5 talent, but I don't know if he was a top 5 quarterback at the time,
especially after not playing his college year.
Exactly. So I feel bad because I feel like he was just put into a bad situation, and then it was just made worse by the whole, now he's a starter, we're done with Jimmy G. He gets hurt, Jimmy G steps in and starts playing well.
Bad situation is interesting because
like you would think he's on a winning team. It's a good situation, but it just wasn't.
If you look at Jimmy G, I mean, and compare him to the other backups in the league, I mean, think about it. When a starter gets hurt, there's not usually a question of whether or not he's going to lose his job from even if the backup is playing well. Like, for example, with the Patriots, Mac Jones is going to keep his job no matter what, because guess what? Brian Hoyer, even if he goes 6-0, is not going to win the job.
Well, Brian Hoyer's not playing. It's Bailey Zappi.
It's Bailey Zappi.
And now people are comparing Bailey Zappi to Tom Brady. Just not from the playing, but from the late round draft pick, takes over for a first round draft pick.
But I'm saying, like, I mean,
chip on his shoulder.
Think about like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick
Bailey,
was always that
Brady. I see it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was always that backup to where it was like, is he good enough to be a starter? No, but he's a really good backup. And Jimmy G is like right on that fringe of he is good enough to be a starter, and he has experience as a starter. Maybe he should be a starter. It's I get
he would
that.
be a starter anywhere else. Almost anywhere else.
Oh, really? Really, Rico?
Almost anywhere else.
So he would start over Patrick Mahomes in KC.
I said almost.
Almost.
I did correct myself.
Yeah, no, that's right. All right, let's get to our final
He would
timeout.
start over Russell
Wilson.
All right. We're going to throw it to break right now on the drive on 93.7 The Ticket.
Would he start?
Registration is now open for winter sports leagues for adult basketball and youth basketball through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult kickball and volleyball registration are also open. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more, or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before October 16th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. There is no better place to watch any Nebraska game other than the 50-yard line at Memorial Stadium. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at PriceRightAuto.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Warm, windy conditions expected here for our Tuesday. We'll top out at 87. Southwest winds could gust over 25 to 30. Tonight we'll have a chance of thunderstorms rolling through late with a low down to 50. And behind our cold front, northwest winds tomorrow could gust over 35 with a high of 73. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with AD and Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin'.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's Tuesday. This is The Drive with AD and Ralph, 93.7 The Ticket. We got the Los Angeles Rams. I would say they're not where I expected them to be.
Below.
Below.
Yep, I would agree.
Below.
Matt Stafford looks like he forgot how to throw a football. Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson in the backfield. Don't know what's going on there. Don't know how the Rams want to use those two guys either, because you have Cam Akers now taking a majority of the snaps now. However, in the first couple games, it was Darrell Henderson. They've completely switched it, went 180. So I don't know what the deal is there. Yeah, so I just think below. And they're missing another wide receiver.
Rico's saying.
Breaking news. Breaking news. On 3 reporting. Transfer portal edition from the Huskers.
There it is.
Isaiah Garcia Castaneda.
We got a transfer portal.
There it is.
Well, best of luck, Isaiah, on your trip in the portal. I hope that you're able to come out of that vortex.
we do get to hear
from
Mickey
Mickey
Joseph
today
here in a little bit.
So I'm sure he will wish him the best of luck. Have a great day. So Rams below. Cardinals, I would say they're below also 2-3. I thought but they've got Hopkins coming back. Is it? In a week.
Yeah, here soon.
More news? Okay.
No.
And that was the breaking news. The Drive, always breaking the news.
Okay, yeah. So the Cardinals, I would say right where I thought they'd be.
Hopkins is coming back.
Yeah, here he is.
Who drafted him on both his fantasy football team? This guy.
You really?
Always thinking ahead.
There you go.
And then the final team, the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith, the legend of Geno Smith.
Above.
Yeah, they're playing good.
I'm
football.
shocked at how well Geno Smith is playing.
Yeah.
So they, as of right
now,
now,
did you see that one? The one throw that he had to.
Yeah.
I think it was Noah. It was Lockett.
It was Lockett in the end zone.
No, he had one in Noah Fant where he comes out. He's rolling the ball to the left, doesn't set, and then flings it like 30 yards downfield on a dime. I was like,
yeah. So
they're like, is he that guy?
He must be that guy. But okay, so we got about a minute and a half left. Let's dive into IGC a little bit here.
All right, go back to IGC.
Isaiah Garcia Castaneda.
Great first game.
Yeah, great first game. Enters the portal.
Faded.
Well, you kind of saw this coming down the chute a little bit.
Definitely.
Tommy Hill's begun to work out with some of the wide receivers, and he switched his number to number 2.
Correct. That was kind of big there, I thought.
Yeah.
Because you can't have 2 number 2s on offense on the same time on the field.
So IGC's in the portal. I think it is a loss to Nebraska because he was that guy. I mean, in the off season, that was one of those guys that we heard was standing out. But I guess things happen, and once again, like I said, we'll hear from Mickey Joseph in a little bit.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts,
how much context he gives.
Because like Frost was always like, "We wish him all the best." And that was all he said. If Mickey will be more in depth and be like, "Well, this is the reason why he decided to enter the transfer portal." But
I don't know. I know coaches are sometimes restricted on a couple
from what
of the
they
things
can say,
and stuff, and they don't want.
That'll probably just be
here's the thing: they don't want to start a rift with anybody.
Yeah,
they don't want to start a social media thing.
It'll be. I wish him all the best.
So so I guess IGC portal.
Hope he makes it out. All right, this has been The Drive. Thady and Raff, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll talk to you tomorrow.